Shifting is a connection between two positions. It's not a connection between finger to finger, but think of it more as a connection of position to a different position. We have two types of basic shifting. We can connect more in a clean way, inaudible way, and in a little bit more expressive way, audible way. What do I mean by that? So, you can connect, let's say, two notes, which is a B on the A string and a G on the A string. So, to connect it as clean as possible, we use terminology of the old finger and the new finger. Old finger is the one that is moving before the shift. New finger is the one arriving at the new note after the shift. B is the old finger first. It slides until it reaches its position, and then the G note is being tapped down to be played in the position. So between B and G, that's position, first position into the fourth position. So effectively, your first finger B travels to E in fourth position. It doesn't have to travel anywhere further because your G is accessible now with your pinky. Now the same would go for the F sharp with the third finger, and F natural, and of course 1-1. There's no change in the finger, so this is the most connected as it gets. There's no variety to it. First finger goes there. You can only vary the speed of how fast you go, or how light or heavy you press through the note. Or so with other fingers you have to arrive at E and then add. So that goes for any connection going from lower finger number upward to higher finger number. On the way back is the same idea. When you go from G to the B, your old finger is the one that is pinky now, G. It slides back to where? That's correct, to the D. And then opens up. All the other fingers are opening up, allowing for the B to sound. So this connection is the cleanest connection possible. And we try to use it as often as possible in majority of shifts. Now, when we want to play a little bit more expressive, and we don't want to be expressive all the time because that becomes like a default, expressive needs to be once in a while for special notes, and those notes can be more of them, less of them, depends on the music and the historical context, style of the piece, composer. So you have to, that's your own personal choice. What do you consider to be more expressive? And we can delay the shifts. So this was called anticipate a shift as well. And this is a delayed shift. What do I mean by delayed? You are delaying the arrival of the old finger. Okay? So instead of going all the way to the E, you're starting to, you're delaying the arrival of the actual G. You started early and then you get into it. So what effectively happens, your first finger, old finger, is sliding as before, and then your fourth finger comes early, and then with a delay it arrives at the G. How much of the delay? It's up to your artistic choice. That's quite a lot. That's last second, maybe from F sharp to G. It all depends on the context of the piece that you're playing. On the way back is the same concept. But shifting backwards from the old finger and sliding with the new finger down is not very good taste. Sometimes we want it, but it's more rare than not. So those are the two types of shifting. Now, when you have different types of fingerings, it works a little bit differently. If you're going from the fourth finger to the first finger, your arm covers exactly the same distance as you're going from B to G to D to E. Is the same distance your arm is traveling, but of course the notes are much closer. This is D to E, a whole step. B to G is a 6. So your forefinger now is the old finger going up. So it has to go up as much as it can, so the first finger can arrive cleanly at the first finger on E. So the first finger is kind of pushing out the pinky and arrives there. Now, to make it a little bit expressive, you arrive at the first finger a little bit early, and then you delay the E by putting it in time later. So this is delayed shift. Clean shift, delayed. There's a little bit, you can hear a little bit of the slide in between. Sometimes we really, really want it. When you go down from the same combination of fingerings, this is the old finger now. So the first finger goes down as far as it needs to, so the D can tap cleanly. So the D arrives really clean. There's no adjustment afterwards. So that's clean. Now delayed. Again, going down with a delayed shift, not very common. It's very rare to use those shifts. Sometimes we need them in music, let's say by Rachmaninoff, or more romantic 20th century music, early 20th century music, but most of the time we're trying to avoid a delayed shift going down. But going up, all of them are pretty useful.